Hi everyone, my name is Caroline. If we haven't met before, welcome to another day in the 28-day challenge. Today I'm going to focus on stress relief. In terms of the mantra for your practice, feel free to choose any mantra you'd like, but I'm going to try to take you through a series of poses. I've created a nice flow, but I want the emphasis to be on reducing stress in the mind, in the body. And so we're going to get started laying on our backs in Shavasana. You can take any variation of Shavasana that you'd like. If you'd like to take butterfly legs, if you want to take traditional Shavasana, I will meet you on the mat in a second. And so laying down on the mat, trying to let go and quiet the mind. Slowly deepening those inhales and those exhales. Just starting to notice the body, notice the breath. Noticing how the body feels at the beginning of your practice. Noticing the tension in your muscles. And with every inhale, breathing oxygen into those tense parts of the body, allowing them to soften. With every exhale, letting go. And every inhale, breathing oxygen into those tense parts of the body. Feeling each point of contact on your back, on your sacrum, the heels of the feet. Feeling each point of the body sink deeper into the earth. Closing in on the breath, noticing the quality of the breath here at the beginning of your practice. Is it deep? Is it shallow? And with a gentle acceptance, continuing to inhale and exhale, attending to the breath throughout your practice today. As we slowly rid the stress from our bodies and our brains, we'll revisit the breath throughout the practice. Notice any changes. And one more inhale here through the nose, all the way to the top. And exhale, side out through the mouth. One more here. Inhale through the nose to the top. And exhale, letting it go. Inhale as you reach fingertips up above the head. Toes can point together. Big stretch. Inhale through the nose. And exhale, letting go. We're going to bring the toes zipped up together as well as the hands up overhead, over to the right. So you're making this banana shape with the body, opening up that left side as you curl that left shoulder down. The left shoulder blade is glued and pressed down into the mat. You should feel this opening in your left torso all the way to the left. wrist and down to the left ankle. Inhale back to center. And exhale, banana shape towards the left side of the mat. Rolling that right shoulder blade down, pressing that shoulder blade into the mat. Trying to flatten the lower back. Feeling that opening in the left side body. And breathing here. And on the next inhale, coming back to center. We're going to inhale, bringing that right knee in towards the chest, flexing that hip. And exhale as you use that right hand to bring that right knee off towards the right side, opening that hip. So you're really opening up that right hip, testing out your external rotation. And trying to glue that left glute down as you do this. You can put your left fingertips onto the left hip, feeling for that ASIS, if that helps. The bony prominence in front of the hip. Trying to keep that left hip shifted down. And exhale as you bring that right knee over towards the left, outstretch that right hand, gazes over the right shoulder, or if that's too much for the neck, you can look up towards the sky. And breathing in this twist. And inhaling back to center, switching sides. Inhale, left knee in towards the chest, flexing that left hip. And we're gonna inhale as we bring that left knee out towards the side. Again, right hand can be on that bony prominence in front of the hip to glue that right glute down as you engage in external rotation of that left hip. And breathing here as you press that right glute down rather than lifting that right glute off the mat. If that means you don't get as far on that left external rotation of the hip, that's okay. And on the next exhale, bringing that left knee over towards the right, extending that left hand out, left arm out, gaze is over the left shoulder or up towards the sky. And breathing oxygen into that left rib. Feeling the opening in the outer left hip, the outer left glute. And inhaling back to center, we're going to tuck the knees in on both sides and slowly rocking back and forth. If this is okay with the spine, if it's not, just meeting in tabletop in whatever way you want to meet there. We're going to come through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, dip the belly, dip the chest, bring the chest through the arms. And exhale, rounding out the upper spine. Separate the shoulder blades as you push all fingers and palms into the mat. Inhale, dip the belly, dip the chest, cow. And exhale, rounding out the spine, continuing through 3 more cycles of cat-cow at your own pace with your own breath. Inhale. And exhale, rounding it out. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. Pushing those shoulder blades apart as you push into the mat. Inhale, dip the belly, dip the chest, gazes forward. And exhale, separating those shoulder blades as you curl the tailbone under. On the next inhale, coming back to neutral spine. We're going to inhale, right fingertips forward, left toes back, coming into some bird dogs. Inhale, expanding, extending through the spine, and exhale, knee to nose tap. Inhale, reaching out through the toe and the fingertips. And exhale, knee to nose, tap. Inhale, back out. And exhale, dropping back into tabletop, switching sides, left fingertips forward or right toes back. Try to tuck navel to spine. Inhale, extending through the spine. And exhale, knee to nose, tap. Inhale, extend. And exhale, crunching it in. Inhale, back out. And exhale, tabletop position, stepping palms forward, a couple inches, curling the back toes if they're not already curled under, and lifting the hips up and back into your first downward facing dog. Really pedaling out the heels here. If your hamstrings feel a bit tight, and if this is the first down dog of the day, it's totally okay. Swaying the hips from side to side, really easing into this first down dog of the practice, rolling the eyes, the elbows forward as you try to give your mat a hug with your underarms, your armpits. And breathing here along straight line from the wrists all the way to the tops of the sit bones. A couple deep breaths here as we start to find some stillness in our downward facing dog. And on the next inhale, rolling onto the balls of the feet, bending the knees, step hop or jump your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, folding forward, palms to the mat. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center, down by the side. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, palms to the mat, step for jump back. Plank, chaturanga, bend the elbows to 90. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Remembering as we move through these flows to take any variations that you need, any modifications, and if you ever get tired, to come back into a child's pose or any rest pose that you wish. Inhale, rolling into the balls of the feet, bending the knees, step, jump, or hop your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, folding back down right away. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, planting the palms and coming through your vinyasa. Exhale, chaturanga. Elbows are tucked into the torso. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Rolling those shoulders down the back. And exhale, pushing into the mat as you lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. 2 breaths here in this down dog. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. 1 more here. Inhale through the nose and exhale side out through the mouth. And on the next inhale, we're going to bend the knees slowly, coming into this modified downward facing dog. And exhale, bringing the heels back down, downward facing dog. Inhale, bending the knees. Exhale, down dog. We're going to add a plank in here. So inhale, rolling forward into plank. Hold, really pushing the shoulder blades apart. So you're really not sinking into those back muscles. You're really pushing out, almost like a cat pose. And exhale as you bend the knees. Modified downward facing dog. And exhale, normal downward facing dog. Inhale, rolling forward into plank. And exhale, bending those knees. Inhale, back up, downward facing dog. 1 deep breath here. And exhale. Inhale, rolling forward into plank. And exhale, slowly coming, knees up or down, onto the belly. Making our way down there. We're going to spread our wings out, palms face down on the mat. We're gonna do some shoulder openers here. So just making sure that your palms or your wings are spread at the height of the shoulders. We're gonna start to tent the right fingertips at the top right corner of the mat, pushing into that ground and bringing the right sole of the foot over top behind the left leg. So this should open up that left shoulder, the front of the left shoulder. And you can keep your right fingertips tented up in front of you, or you can reach the fingertips or the back of the hand onto the sacrum or low back. Whatever feels best for you. And breathing here in this position. This is a great pose for opening up the front of that right shoulder. And exhale, coming back to center, switching sides, so spreading out that right arm, bringing left fingertips onto the floor, pushing yourself over as you bring that left sole of the foot behind that right leg. Arm can stay here, or it can come to the low back. Feeling that opening in front of the right shoulder this time. And breathing here on the opposite side. Noticing if the front of one shoulder may have been tighter than the other. Most of our bodies are a bit asymmetrical. We tend to use and favor one side over the other, and this creates these asymmetries in the body. And on the next exhale, coming back to center, we're gonna do a couple Superman. So reaching the fingertips forward, toes, tops of the toes are glued to the mat. Inhale, right fingertips up as you raise the left toes. And exhale down, opposite. Left fingertips or right toes reach up. And exhale. One more on each side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, trying to keep the neck long and straight. And exhale, lower. On the next inhale, lifting all four limbs. And exhale, lower. Bringing palms to the breastbone or under the shoulders, tucking the toes under. We're gonna lift back up to plank. You can use the knees here, or you can try to lift without the knees. And exhale, coming through your vinyasa or straight into your downward facing dog, meeting me there when you're ready. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, lifting the hips up and back into your downward facing dog. And from this down dog, we're gonna inhale, right toes up towards the sky. And exhale, bringing that right foot in between the palms. Inhale, arms reach up, high lunge. Breathing here for one deep breath, rolling the shoulders down the back. And exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to slowly step that left foot forward to meet the right. And inhale, reaching the arms up. We're in chair pose, Utkatasana. Glance down, make sure you can see all 10 toes. Curling that tailbone under. We're gonna sit here in chair pose, Utkatasana, for 2 deep breaths. And exhale, one more here. Inhale. And exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna come into a chair twist. So bringing that right elbow on the outside of that left knee. Breathing here as we slowly shift weight into that left foot. I know the hamstrings are firing, the quads are firing. Bringing that right toe back. So now you're in a chair or lunge twist here. Breathing here. Do you need to adjust that back foot? Feel free to do so. Trying to shift weight in between the legs, keeping that 90-degree bend in the front leg, front knee. And on the next inhale, you can reach your right fingertips down, left fingertips up. Variation of that twist. And exhale, planting those palms, stepping the left foot back, Coming through your vinyasa, knees up or down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. One breath here, and right away, inhale, left toes up towards the sky. And exhale, bringing that left foot in between the palms. Inhale, arms reach up, high lunge. Roll the shoulders down the back. You're on the ball of that back foot. One deep breath here. And on the next exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to meet that right foot towards our left. Inhale, sweeping the arms up and over. Chair pose, kicking down, making sure you can see all 10 toes, shifting weight into the heels rather than the toes. One breath here. Noticing how your left side's a little bit more fired up than the right. And on the next exhale, bringing the left elbow onto the outer aspect of that right knee. Chair twist on the opposite side, slowly shifting weight into that right sole of the foot, balancing here as you bring the left toes back into your low lunge twist or your high lunge twist on the opposite side. If you need to bring that knee down, you can do so as well. And breathing here for 3. Really bringing the prayer to the center of the chest. And on the next exhale, you can drop left fingertips, right fingertips reach up towards the sky. Modified twist here. Making sure you keep a deep bend, 90-degree bend in that front knee. And on the next exhale, dropping that right palm, stepping that right foot back, coming into your vinyasa, knees up or down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great job, guys. Coming into a brief child's pose, dropping the knees. Knees can be together or mat with distance apart, and dropping the forehead towards the mat. 3 deep breaths here in your child's pose. You're doing great, guys. One more breath here. And on the next exhale, we're slowly gonna rise up to seated. Remaining in this position if this is comfortable, or you can come into a cross-legged seated position. We're gonna inhale, left fingertips onto the right thigh, reaching right fingertips behind you. Seated twist here. Relaxing both shoulders. And exhale back to center. Inhale, reaching right fingertips on the outside of that left knee. Left fingertips reach behind you. Relax both shoulders. Breathing here in the spinal twist. And inhale back to center. We're gonna roll into a wide-legged seated forward fold. So coming to the center of your mat, reaching toes out. You can adjust how it feels on the adductor muscles of your inner thigh, because we're going to come into a forward fold, reaching forward. So if you need to bring the legs in a bit, decrease the angle here, feel free to do so. And inhale, lengthening the spine, and exhale as you reach forward. Breathing here in this wide-legged forward fold, seated. You should be feeling an opening of the muscles in the groin. You want to take a different variation here. You can reach arms under. You can try one arm at a time. It really depends on your flexibility today, but you can always remain on your elbows. If you want to take the full variation, reaching arms under as much as you can, forehead to the mat. Ideally, you want your arms under the thighs, but if you don't have that space in the hamstrings, in the groin, I like to place the backs of my palms under my calves. Breathing here. Whatever variation you're in, you don't need to be there. You can be up here on your elbows, taking 3 deep breaths. And inhale, rising back up to seated. We're gonna come lay down on our backs. Kind of how we began the practice, but we're gonna bring the soles of the feet towards the hips or towards the glute muscles, tickle the backs of the heels, coming through a few rounds of bridge. Inhale, hips reach up towards the sky. Exhale, slowly lowering the spine back down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, hips reach up, trying to keep the knees pointed straight rather than splaying the knees up. And exhale, slowly lowering back down with your breath. One more here. Inhale, lifting up towards the sky. And exhale, slowly lowering back down. We're going to come into a shoulder stand. So modify. You just want to stay in dead bug, which is this position right here. You can lift the arms up as well. This is completely okay. This is great for circulation. It brings the blood flow back to the center of the body, to the heart. Staying here is perfect. I like to shake it out a bit. So if you want to stay here, kind of shaking, increasing blood circulation, feel free to do that. If you want to join me in shoulder stand, we're going to take shoulder stand to Halasana. So inhale, bring the hips up, hands or palms to the low back, toes point up, making sure your neck feels comfortable here. This is a really important aspect of safety in this pose. Your neck should not feel like there's a lot of tension in the back of the neck. You should be able to have some distance between the chin and the chest. Knees or toes are pointed up towards the sky. You can walk the elbows in if that gives you more support. Breathing here for a couple deep breaths, paying attention to the sensation in your neck. And with the next exhale, slowly lowering the toes behind you. They don't have to reach the ground. They can hover above the ground. I'm a bit limited because I have a basket right there. But breathing here wherever you are in your Halasana plow pose. I like to interlace the fingers behind the back and push into the mat. If that's in your practice, you can do so as well. Making sure you're returning your attention to your neck, making sure it's comfortable. You can bring the knees, starting to bend them, bring the knees by the ears. Modified womb pose. You can bring palms face down on the mat here in this modified womb. Wherever you want to go, making sure you're paying attention to the sensations in your own body. And on the next exhale, slowly coming out of the pose the same way you came into the pose. So if that's through shoulder stand, gently tracing your steps backward and onto the back. Coming into your final resting pose, Shavasana. If there's any last minute poses that you really need, feel free to take them here before coming into your final resting pose. But once you're here, slowing down the mind again, noticing if your mind wandered during our practice today, and accepting whatever it was that you brought forth today, being grateful for having the courage and the energy to step onto the mat today. A lot of the time we don't give ourselves enough gratitude for dedicating this time to our practice. Maybe we feel we didn't put enough effort, but I think that we should all be a little bit more kind and grateful to ourselves for even dedicating just this time to our minds, to our bodies. Slowly letting go of control of the breath, allowing the breath to find its natural rhythm, and giving your body rest. Shavasana. If you'd like a longer Shavasana, feel free to take as long as you need, pause the video. But if you want to join me in exiting this practice, slowly starting to bring life back into the body, into the fingertips, the toes, the wrists, and the ankles. Inhale, reaching arms up overhead, toes and legs zip together. Inhale, stretch, just like we began this practice. And exhale, letting it go. One more here. Inhale through the nose, all the way to the top. And exhale, letting go. In your own time. Making your way to seated, whether that's through a fetal position, if you want to just get up and meet me in a cross-legged seated position facing the front of your mat. Rolling those shoulders down the back, palms on knees or to heart center. Gently closing the eyes or gaze soft, bowing the head. Thank you all for joining me in today's practice. Thanking yourself for committing this time for your own health and well-being. And thank you all for sharing your loving light and energy with those around you today. Namaste. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed that practice, and I hope you continue to be kind to yourself. Sorry for the poor lighting. It got dark outside while I was doing this practice, but hopefully the next session will be a bit better in terms of the lighting. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.